Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Apex DST property update. This is Blake Wettengell. I'm the CEO of Versity Invest. We're happy to bring you this report with a variety of good news about the performance of this particular asset and also some news about the offering going forward. First, by way of a property update, we wanted to tell you that according to the National Association of Realtors, the state of Florida led all U.S. states in positive net migration for the year 2022 by almost 2%, number one in the country. And in fact, the greater Orlando metropolitan area sits at the very top of the list of areas with the largest inbound move rates at over 56%. And this is due in large part, as you're probably aware, due to this particular area's robust post-pandemic recovery. Now, the Apex South Creek's location, its quality of construction, its amenity package, all feature into why the property is now leased at over 96%, despite the fact that there is significant new construction in the area and new competition. And despite all of that competition, and in spite of the fact that the asset is at 96% leased with tremendous velocity, management has seen to it that rents have grown by over 1% year over year, and they've also been able to increase other income, including garage and pet fees. The property as it stands now is in need of no major repairs, and there do not seem to be any need for repairs or capital expenditures in the immediate future. Now, the DST market has seen some interesting swings in the current year. According to recent data supplied by industry sources Stanger and Company and Mountaindale Consulting, there have been $2.1 billion raised in DST programs through the end of May of 2023. And should this pace continue, the industry would raise just over $5 billion for calendar year 2023. Now, by comparison, the industry raised $7.2 billion in 2021 and $9.2 billion in 2022, or 30% and 45% more, respectively, in those years than the current year is likely to do. So as a result, as you might imagine, there's a real slowing in capital formation, and DSTs are sitting on the shelf for far longer than anyone's accustomed to. Now, as DSTs sit on the shelf, they accumulate a lot of what we call preferred or bridge equity costs. And that's cash that's needed to purchase a property. And sponsors are having to pay these costs as the property sits on the shelf and they're not selling as fast as they were. We see this as an opportunity at Versity. We see it as an opportunity to provide a win-win solution in what has become a little bit of a difficult economic environment. So as opposed to continuing to do business as normal, we at Versity are providing a yield enhancement feature to our existing DSTs. Specifically, Versity will be increasing the stated rent for investors on this asset from 4% annually to 6.5% annually for a period of 24 months. We see this as a win-win. Investors are rewarded with a higher cash-on-cash return during this period. The sponsor can limit its exposure on costs by selling out our product faster. And in so doing, we'll be rewarding investors rather than paying fees to preferred equity and bridge lenders, at least until the market normalizes. So how are we paying for this? Versity Invest LLC, as the sponsor of Apex South Creek DST, is an affiliated entity of the master tenant, Apex South Creek Lease Co. LLC. The master tenant generates sufficient revenue from the operation of the property to pay the base rent, including the debt service, and the entirety of the previous stated rent of 4%. The difference between the yield enhancement of 6.5% and the DST's original stated rent and bonus rent will be borne by the sponsor. Any outperformance of the property by the master tenant will offset the impact of the yield enhancement to the sponsor, and the sponsor's ability to maintain and sustain this payment for the ensuing 24 months will be supported by the sponsor's cash on hand, any future revenue-generating activities, and other product offerings. The yield enhancement feature will be carried on for a duration of 24 months beginning immediately.